A big hello and a warm welcome to all of you amazing and beautiful people out there. Welcome to my channels, the Twin Flame Union and the Twin Flame Universe. This is one of the first video that I am sharing on both the channels at the same time because this subject is such that it is going to help people on both the channels. Whether you are in final stage, whether you're in recognition stage, whether you're in the runner-chaser dynamic, whether you're surrendering, whether you're in harmonization, and even if you are in union, this is a great piece of information that can help you feel more uplifted, because definitely if you are in the ascension journey, then you do believe in this, you do think that this could be true, but today's session is going to make it like a fixed thing for at least all of us. So let's get started and talk about two types of love that are seen on planet Earth. One is the love which we see, real love, or I call it one love. And Twin Flame community is very much aware about it. They must have heard about it. This is the pure unconditional form of love. And then we have lust, which is normally seen in the karmic relationships or the karmic templates. You can have lust over anything. You can lust about anything. But mostly lust is seen in relation with and with perspective to the bodily or bodily related things. So let's get started. But before that, I would like to say that for personal readings, guidance on dream interpretation, counseling and therapies, please go through the description box first, and once you have read it fully and once you're sure on what you want to go ahead with, then write to me at thesunamoon@gmail.com. I'm also sharing this information that when it comes to Twin Flame intuitive readings, I prefer to not know anything about your journey. It's always better to get guidance from the cards, from tarot, or from the divine above. And there are so many people who have their masters, they have their guides, they have benevolent extraterrestrials who take care of them. And in case of therapy sessions, counseling sessions is where I would like to know about your personal twin flame journey, whatever your experience has been in all these years. And also there will be a lot of other things, other areas that we would be digging up into, because you know that twin flame journey is absolutely connected to whatever happened in your childhood and adolescence years. So now I'm going to talk about today's very important subject, love versus lust. Maximum people know love as lust. They actually misunderstand love. They know what lust is from practical experience, and the same emotion called lust is being catered to all over the world as love. But actually, love is a very, very different type of feeling. It's a very unique feeling. It's an everlasting feeling. Once you feel what love is, or once you know what love is, once you taste the sweet nectar of love, one love, as how I say it mostly, you will not lust for anything ever. Because you know that there is something so amazing that one can feel, that one can live a lifestyle of love, of being in love always. The reason why men and women get attracted towards each other is because of sexual urge, or just they want to have sex with each other. Many people like that, many men and women get attracted to each other for that. And in the world also, whether it is television shows or whether it is one of the show called 2.5 Men, that is such a bad show. Like there are some funny moments too. When I was unhealed and wounded, the show used to come like many years ago, so I was obviously very impressionable at that time, of an impressionable mind at that time. So I used to find the show quite funny also at times. And for the comedy, because you obviously like the comedy bits were really nice, especially with the kid and how two single men are raising a child along with a housekeeper. So that concept was funny, and I used to really enjoy it. But as I started, growing ahead in my ascension journey, I started realizing that this show is actually a horrible show to watch, because every single person over there in that show is crazy for sex. Like, all of them are like that. Not even a single person. Only that poor child is not into it at that time. But he's being raised by two men who, who are just, they don't know how to treat women. Women were treated like trash in that show, actually worse than trash. And they would show that, all women are so enamored by this guy, Charlie, that, they would do anything to please him. He's not good looking. He wears horrible clothes. And of course, the character sketching was good because he's a hedonistic guy. So he's very good in writing jingles about all the crappy materialistic things that he has to sell. And his character is such that they show him to be invincible. Like, he can get away with anything. But towards the, after a few years, even people started disliking certain content. And most importantly, the protagonist, Charlie Sheen. It seems that this character got into his head, and he is already an egotistical, narcissistic person. And most actors are narcissistic. It's not nothing new. I mean, they are. It's just that they don't know about it yet, and probably they won't get to know so easily unless something happens that moves them away from the base, their foundation of the ego. So later on, this actor who was playing this character, he got really hated on by people because the character that he was playing on screen, he started thinking that he is exactly that in real life as well. And there have been people who have actually said that yes, he has been a sexual abuser in the past too. So imagine such people are getting roles to play like this. They are glorifying these characters who do not know what love is. They are far away from love. And even the romantic stories, like the next guy they brought into the show after Charlie's character died, was, you must be thinking, oh, he's a billionaire and he totally wants his wife. But as the show progresses, he's also doing the same things. Imagine his wife is sleeping with his best friend, and then he dumps him, and then he's still working with the best friend, and he's okay to, his ex-wife, he's okay to work with him. They understand each other, like it's fine. And then this lady keeps coming into his life as and when she wants. There are times when she says, I want to come back with you, and then they don't. I mean, it's just weird. And every time I watched an episode, every episode was all about lust. Everything to do with lust. Whether it's lust for money, like the characters, they don't have any shame, they don't have any self-respect. This guy who's a freeloader character, who's this Charlie Sheen's brother actually, who plays the brother, Alan Harper, he has been a freeloader ever since the show started. And even the son, even the little boy starts working elsewhere. He works in the army, but he does not. And they show him to be like a character you should love or you should like. And then there are all these, even the women, every single woman they show, they have written the character for. All women were like that, all of them. They were only and only about materialistic things. Even the housekeeper Berta at that age, I'm not saying that at a certain age you can't be in love or you can't be attracted to a man, but she also was constantly drooling over Ashton Kutcher's character, and even she was always talking about the same thing around lust, and they're all drinking constantly. How is it possible that you drink so much every day? Like, you're drinking a bottle every day, literally, and you're absolutely healthy and you look nice and you look fine and you're able to wake up in the morning with no hangover, with nothing. So these people, in the name of comedy, in the name of content, they actually show people a lot of things which are clearly far, far away from love or reality or real thinking or pragmatic thinking or healthy living. They only show people how you should party, and if you party a lot, you're a really respectable person in the society, or how, the number of girlfriends or boyfriends you have is a great score to keep, and money is everything, lust is everything, sex is everything. there is no sanity in any relationship and there's no sanity within the people. But it is packaged so well, like people watch it. Even I watched it, But I still wanted to share this over here because this subject and this channeling is such that we are talking about love over lust. And it's not just 2.5 Men is a show like that. There are many shows like that. And yes, some people might say, yeah, so what? The show is like that. So what? There are different types of shows. But my idea and the reason why I'm sharing this with you is that maximum content is like this. 90% content is like this. 10% people are making genuine content or, sharing something that can actually help others or talk about real love, So real, and still imagine being on the ascension journey. It's so great that a lot of us actually get information. Information is given to us at crazy times. I still remember there were times when I used to be very down and low, and I would just make a prayer to God, like, please help me out. Please, if someone is listening to me, I feel so bad. And 5 minutes later, I would just land up to a video, or I would probably see a hoarding, or I would read something somewhere, maybe a piece of paper, some way or the other. The right content would be sent to me, which would make me feel happy and uplifted. And I would be like, okay, fine, at least I'm doing the right thing. Or at least I'm not the only one, or at least I'm supported and guided. So love can be sent to you in any way, shape or form. It's just that you need to become someone who can recognize it. In the twin flame journey also, initially the divine masculine and the divine feminine easily recognize each other, and they are flirting with each other. They are telling each other how much they love each other. They are complimenting each other. Oh, you look so handsome. Oh, you look so pretty. They have no qualms in doing anything. But when they get into testing and crisis, they pull back. They hold back the goodness or the love that they should give to their partners because they are scared. And it's not that they are lusting or anything, but as I said, lust is not only sexual lust. Lust can be seen in many things. But for the divine feminine and masculine, it is a pattern that has been seen that yes, lust also plays an important part in this journey, and the clearing of lust really changes everything. If you look at most of the products that are being sold in the market, they always use a woman's body, or if not that, then they use some kind of materialistic entrapment or bait, you would say. Like, if you want to be happy, you should have this car. If you want to be happy, you should have this house. If you want to be happy, you should wear these type of clothes. Or in order to get the right partner, to get the attention of the opposite sex, you must do this, you must do that. And one of the craziest example of this is the Axe deodorants advertisement, where, a guy would put on Axe perfume or deodorant and all women will jump on him like, he is some kind of honey for honeybees, or some kind of flower for honeybees from which they can get the honey. So these things don't make any sense, but still we all watch these things. We know that everything that is being shown to us, it's absolutely fake. Absolutely pure fake, but we still go ahead with it because the illusion or the Maya is very strong on planet Earth, especially when you have not ascended or you are still confused. You are still living in the false realities of life. There are clearly two meanings of this word lust as per the dictionary. Number one is strong sexual desire, and number two is a very strong desire to have or get something. Lust for power, lust for money, lust for fame. And this itself proves that lust is not only limited to sexual interaction. Lust is used for many things, because all those things, to get all those things, you need to have that kind of urge or that kind of feeling for it. In the ascension journey, the first and important thing that the divine masculine and the divine feminine learn is that they need to know the difference between real and fake. Once they know the difference between real and fake, it doesn't take much time to understand one thing for the divine feminine, that the masculine isn't going anywhere. He's always there. He's always going to be there for you. He's already played his part, because if he was not like the way he was, you would not have worked on your ascension. And every single person who has somehow reached the final stage and even hit surrender, if you have done 50% of surrender, you know what I'm talking about. And those of you who are in runner-chaser dynamic, you also practice surrender, but you don't know how to practice it permanently. So you fall into the runner-chaser dynamic, or the on and off dynamic, or the hot and cold dynamic. Once you know the truth is that he ain't going anywhere, and all the bodily relationships, all the karmic relationships are not real relationships, and that includes our biological relationships as well. And many a times we get very attached to the biological relationships also, or the birth relationships also. It's only in the twin flame journey that you understand the difference between a healthy balance between loving your parents, or loving your children, or loving your partner, or loving everything or everyone else, but also remembering and realizing that your life on planet Earth is temporary, and you don't just have responsibility for all the 4 or 5 or 6 or 7, whatever number of people who are biologically connected to you, but you have more responsibility towards yourself, towards source, towards the reason why you're there. And most importantly, I'll tell you, the most important thing is that when you receive something via ascension, when you receive the real love, when you receive the unconditional love, when you receive the knowledge, the true knowledge, then you must share it with other people. You must uplift other people through whatever way you want to. It's totally up to you how you want to uplift people. You can uplift them through your words, or you can uplift them through, like meeting them personally. But actually, social service means to uplift others. That's it. There's no other way to do social service. You can do social service even when you're walking on the streets, even when you're talking to people, even when you're, generally, maybe you're in a taxi, you can do social service by being nice to that person, or, just uplifting those people. Like every time I know, whenever I go into a taxi, I always have a very good conversation, very enjoyable conversation with the people, and they help me and I help them. And I'm currently seeing, this pandemic has caused so much havoc on these poor people, especially taxi drivers or those who are working on daily wages, who are going through so much effort. But at the same time, true love, or a sense of, a heightened sense of awareness, will also help you to be a badass. You'll kick anybody's ass who needs ass kicking. Like in the same situation, say you're in a taxi and there's a taxi driver who's really misbehaving with you, or who's really, just trying to waste your time. You'll know how to give it to them in a very professional way. It's not like you'll start fighting with them, but you will. And there are cases when you might have to fight with people, you might have to argue with people. After you are in the ascension journey, you will become a person who won't care at all how people perceive you, especially if you are doing the right thing. And I mean the true thing, the best thing in any given situation. And that's why, a lot of teachers and a lot of masters, when they get angry, they can, with their voice and with their words, they can shake the mightiest of the grounds, because they know how to treat people in the way they are supposed to be dealt with. You can't always be sweet, you can't always be nice, you can't always be like lovey-dovey to people. In many cases, love also means to put up a strict face or a straight face, or ask for certain things or demand for certain things. You may not even need them technically, but all this you will learn during the ascension journey. And I'll tell you example of divine masculine and divine feminine over here. Say for example, the divine masculine comes back to the divine feminine and says, sorry, I love you, this and that. If she's truly ascended, she's not going to go crazy with that. She's going to be very normal with it, and she'll be like, okay, so what made you come to me? She's not going to be, when you're in the runner-chaser dynamic, mostly when the masculine comes back, the feminine also feels like this, oh, he's here. And then they're back into doing whatever they were doing. It will be happy times for a few days or few weeks, and then back to the square one. Why? Because she has still not ascended, or she has still not surrendered. If there is a fear in her, then she would be like, let me accept him back, otherwise he might go again. Or let me just forgive him. Maybe he has changed. Maybe he has learned something. But a genuine ascended divine feminine will be very, very like straight and very, very to the business. Okay, so what made you come back? What exactly happened that you want to talk to me? She's not going to scare him off also, but the balance. Why? Because love is something that cannot go anywhere. Even if she's questioning him, or even if she, he freaks out on the way she interrogates him, he won't run away still. He might just be a little scared of her, but he won't want to run away again because she is in her full power. And when you are in your full power, even if you say you scare him or even if you scold him, I'm just giving an example. You don't have to scold everyone. Just don't start scolding people around you. I mean to say, when it is required, when it's needed, you'll just automatically know it. So even now, a lot of divine feminines have told me that it's all my fault. He's never going to forgive me. He's never coming back to me. Even if I tell them that he will come back to you, just have some patience. Oh, how much patience should I have? I've already been waiting for so long. But you are waiting for so long because you're impatient. The day you have patience, you have developed real patience, you won't have to wait at all, because patient people never actually wait for anyone or anything. The divine masculine also learns about real love, or the difference between love and lust. When he sees that the karmic relationships or the karmic templates that he was so enamored with, or he thought that it will give him some freedom or some peace or some real love, because he's also a sucker for love as much as you are. He only also wants true love, and the reason he goes away from divine feminine is because he feels that she is not the person who's going to love him for real. Now you might think that it's absurd on his part because you did everything, but please remember that there is something called misunderstandings, there's something called confusions, and people get confused when they are not clear. Even if you today think about a certain thing that happened between you and your divine masculine 2 years back or 3 years back or 5 years back, you're gonna today think about it completely differently after you have done certain amount of inner work. A lot of people who have so much anger for the divine masculine or for the twin flame, their anger goes away. The anger gets transmutated into love. How? Because either they go through therapy or they find out somehow that the right way of love is not this. Now, a lot of people do not necessarily involve into some kind of sexual behavior. They think that, it would be wrong to involve in sexual behavior. But understand, when it's true love, you don't think about such things at all, right? So if you are in love with your twin flame and you've never really involved yourself like that, then that means you do feel a certain degree of real love with them, because you've not really, loved them for the body or for the, the looks. Though, yes, you are attracted towards them, but it is not a physical attraction. It is a soul attraction. It is a familiarity attraction. Like how when you know someone or you feel you know someone, you look at them and you go like, have I seen you somewhere? Do I know you from somewhere? Or your face is so familiar. We all have made these statements to someone or the other. And even if they say, no, I don't think so, we still get confused. Like, maybe I'm wrong, but still, you look so familiar. So clearly, this particular lesson is a very, very important lesson for both divine masculine and divine feminine. And whosoever learns it first. Say, for example, the DM had learned certain lessons about this fact called true love, or this phenomenon called love, one love. And when he met the feminine, he did not accept her, he rejected her. Now, it might have hurt you and your self-respect a lot, so you decided to do your ascension work. But he didn't actually do the completely wrong thing also, because yes, you did need healing. You do need healing for all the wounds even now, right? And when you reach the surrender stage, you actually thank the divine masculine for going away from you. You actually feel, because it's not just the love in the twin flame journey you start feeling. You feel love in every aspect of life. You understand love so much better. You understand love like you've never really felt or experienced it. And that's the time you feel even more gratitude for this person, because had he not been so stubborn and adamant, and had he not rejected you, and later on the same DM who had rejected you will also come back to you with a smile on his face. He will not be egoistic. He will not be crazy to say, oh, why should I go back to her? Because you both are not in that phase. You are healed. The DM and the DF both are mirrors of each other. They will show each other everything as how it is. And sometimes it's really good that separation happens, because when you're doing ascension work, things can get really volatile also. You might just bang against each other or bang each other to some wall in anger. At that point in time, the misunderstandings are so huge. At one time, the DM hates the DF, and then there is a time when the DF hates the DM. Both of them go through that phase when they hate each other, and later on, when they learn the truth, they feel so stupid. They feel like, what the hell was I doing? I was so confused. Or I didn't understand this person, the DM or the DF, at all. I made my own perceptions, and that also embarrasses the DM and the DF both. Like the divine feminine, how does she know what is the power of love? She knows the power of love because she sees now that faith can actually move mountains. The things that were practically impossible before to achieve, be it a business, be it some kind of old friendship that had gone bad, be it relationships, be it getting respect in the society, or being able to fulfill your mission work, or to be able to manage or arrange the resources for the mission work. And if you do it once, trust me, if you've done it once, twice or thrice or 4 times, 5 times, 6 times, you know that you can do it whenever. So the things that you learn in the ascension journey, those lessons are permanent lessons. They are not going to go anywhere from you. It's like once you learn how to swim, once you learn how to ride a bicycle or drive a car and you're good at it, you can never forget it. You might get a bit slow if you quit it, or you get back to it after a few years or a long break, but you're not going to forget the basics ever. That's exactly what happens with the ascension journey. So I'm very, very grateful to universe for actually giving us this type of channeling to all of us, because you also can figure it out, what is love and what is lust, and how you have experienced love and how you see lust. Lust is like you are with the person, you want to have sex with them once or twice or whatever. And true love is you don't even have to touch them once, because you touch their soul before you touch their body. It's as simple as that. How we feel love when we are with our pets, or we are with children, happy children with innocent pets. That type of love, and that type of love, in that type of love also you touch, you hug, you kiss. And obviously if it's a romantic couple like a husband and wife, they would be doing other things also. But the base is not going to be lust. It's not like you have to come into that pleasure zone. You won't care about pleasure. Because both the divine feminine and divine masculine would be out of the cycle of pleasure and pain. Pleasure and pain is connected to lust. When you are out of pleasure and pain, that's when you experience love. Because in love, there are so many situations that can happen which require your attention, or which requires you to think radically or change something about you that needs changing. Like, say you want to rescue an animal, but in order to rescue that animal, you have to bring that animal into your house. And your family is giving you an ultimatum that no, you can't keep the animal. So you come up with a solution. You say, okay, let me foster the animal for 10 days. Or you talk to your friends, or you do something or the other, but you make sure that this animal is in a good place and you are there to take care of the animal. If only your love is true, if you only want to rescue, if you really feel the need from within, which is not even a need, it's more like it's natural for you. Things which are natural they are not need based or need oriented. And when your parents also, like I remember once I wanted to rescue a dog, and She was a puppy who was suffering from a deadly disease. And my family was really, obviously they were not really happy when I would keep bringing in animals and, would expect them to support me while taking care of it. There was already a pet in the house at that time. So they were like, no, you can't keep this here. You have to figure out something. So I said, okay, what do I do? What do I do? I had no other way to go. I was so sad and I was so upset. I just carried the puppy with me and I went to a park which is just close to my house, and I sat there and I started talking to my master. I cried a lot and I felt so helpless. I kept asking for help and I did not know. I was just adamant and I was just crazy. Actually, if I think about it today, it was really crazy for me on my part to be sitting there and crying at such late night hours. And after a while, it was getting cold. I thought maybe I should burn some fire. I started looking for some woods, to get a fire going. And just when I was collecting wood, I find it so funny when I think about it now. My family members came over there and they said, okay, do whatever you want to do. You want to keep this dog in the house, keep it. But don't pull off this type of stunt, like late night hours and it's so cold. It was freezing cold at that time and you are sitting here in a park and what if someone comes here and does something weird to you? I said, nothing is going to do anything weird to me. I know it. I know I am protected. And that time I did feel protected. Like if you tell me to do the same thing now, I might think like 10 times at least. But that night, that time, I was very sure. And then we all went very happily and they also started playing with the dog and they also got close to the dog as long as it was there, getting fostered. So I feel that, when you're in the state of love, you're willing to take any risk, you're willing to cry, you're willing to shed your ego, you're willing to beg to universe that please help me out. And in most cases, when the divine feminines, they start ascending, when they actually ascend, when they actually surrender to universe and they become very powerful, they even stop asking for the divine masculine. They say, I don't care about it anymore. And at that time, the goal was only to bring the twin flame back, nothing else. I just want this person to come back to my life and I only want this person. But later on, when they learned about true love via inner work, via ascension work or via therapies, they were like, I don't even care anymore. It's so strange. Like, I'd rather do this or I'd rather do that. And those who are on the mission work and they need, to uplift themselves, they are like completely like, wow, I am so thankful to God that I have this mission also. And I recommend mission work to everyone. Why? Because I know I've been there, done that. The mission work gives you so much power. It just transforms you into another person altogether. So, you don't care about taking risks. You're not scared anymore. You don't feel fear because you are with source. You have had so many validations by then, so many confirmations by then that universe is watching out for you. They have your back, they support you, they are with you, they fulfill your wishes and they help you out. And if they can't help you out, if you feel that no one has helped me out on this matter, they are trying to tell you, be patient, do your inner work, continue your inner work, focus on other things, and this will be done when it is meant to be done. So you get very relieved and relaxed after that. So on that note, I'm going to be closing this channeling session. Thank you so much for being here with me. Yes, I do want to say that the karmics also learn from this journey. So for example, if the divine masculine is with the karmic and he tells her that, I know you don't love me. I know you don't love me. I know that you don't feel anything for me. Maybe he got cheated on by her or she robbed him of some money. But trust me, the person I love, my divine feminine, she is the one who taught me what love is, not you. You're the one who actually took me back to her. So, thank you so much, but I don't need you anymore because you've told me how false the karmic reality is and how real the spiritual world is. So, thank you so much for being here with me and keep doing great work. One love and peace out.